concerned that residents in the Antelope Valley are going to do something that they shouldn't do and something dumb. And this is going to cause a major problem. I think they should keep him there. And hopefully Assemblyman Fox today will be successful.
I sure hope so.
And Jackie Lacey as well, in being able to convince the judge to take another look at this.
Yeah, I could see a vigilante, taking the house down. And maybe that's the direction that people should go.
Is which direction? We can't. What do you mean?
No, is telling the. I'm not advocating him, doing anything against him, but maybe talk to the owner of the house and say that there's a possibility that people are going to strike out, and you may you're going to have property damage. So maybe look at that direction. Hit it, instead of appealing to his his human nature, appeal to his greed and his the property destruction that could take place there.
His release terms would require him to wear a GPS ankle bracelet. Big
Useless.
Deal. Okay?
Useless.
Continue treatment, obey a curfew, subject himself to random searches, drug testing, polygraphs. I didn't know about that. Okay, but also polygraphs. Nobody, the next door neighbor that will be possibly living next door to Christopher Hubbard, should he move into this house, she is a victim of rape.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to see him there. People have reached out to the homeowner to talk to him.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's exactly what we said. It's about money. It's all about money.
I just would really love to get into this judge's head and see, how can he do this?
From what I'm hearing, on one hand, the judge is bound by law because the people in the mental hospital where he has been kept have deemed him safe to release. So the judge now, in a way, is following orders. They say it's safe to release him. They need to release him.
And those people in the psychiatrists, they have a lot of time to devote to this, and
this is another situation of
thoroughly evaluated.
It's cheaper for them to release him than keep him. It costs them more money to keep him in this hospital. So it's less expensive for them to release him. Again, it's all about money.
Well, I'm sorry, that's tax dollars well spent.
The guy that owns the house, and I forgot his name, but I'll have it in just a second. He must have been jumping for joy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? This is a guy that solicited someone to commit murder on his behalf and kill his wife.
Yeah, cut from the same cloth.
Okay? And kill his wife.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be profiting from our hard tax dollars. $2,500 a month. How do they come up with that figure? How do you come up with it? It looks like a beaten down shack.
Yeah.
Okay. That could be some meth cook operation in the middle of nowhere. There isn't many. There's 3 sheriff's deputies to patrol that whole area. 120 square miles.
Oh.
Okay. So automatic response is not going to be happening.
Not at all.
All right. There's no street lights in the area at all. It is more deserted than the first place. But this
that
homeowner,
poor neighbor woman, can you imagine what she's got to be going through right now?
Yeah, this homeowner is whatever he owes on the property. He'll pay it off within a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Because he's going to be way in the profit, and he doesn't care about the community.
Not a lick.
No, it's all about money. So today at 10 a.m., everybody will be speaking to Judge Brown. There were buses that left from the Antelope Valley.
Yes.
Taking people up there. People were making overnight trips. And I suspect that he'll listen to what everybody has to say. I don't suspect he's going to make a ruling today at 4.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think he's going to take everything into submission and decide. I'd be surprised.
I thought he already had his mind made up.
Well, you know what? Then what is this, a dog and pony show?
Yeah.
Well, no, you can't rightfully do that.
Well,
I know that...
You look at, I mean, take city councils, for example. You get a lot of people going up and saying they don't want a Walmart. And
when it was already a done deal?
The city council listens to it, so okay. Pass the Walmart. I motion's carried.
Right.
You know?
No, I know. And Steve Fox, Assemblyman Fox, wanted to be there yesterday. But he also needed to be up north.
Yeah. Okay,
for this hearing this morning. He wanted to be there. I know, and I've got a question.
Okay.
I know J.D. Kennedy is one of the people involved with the ladies of Lake L.A. That are doing this.
Right.
Where was everybody back last September, last October, when it was on our show with Senator Steve Knight, Mayor Jim Ledford, Assemblyman Steve Fox, and Vladimir Gomez.
And Tom Lackey.
And Tom Lackey, who started the original grassroots petition to stop this. Okay? But now that there's so much media, now it's good for, hey, I want to get in, I need Channel 2, I need Channel 9, I need people to see me too.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I need as much exposure.
Look at me care about the community.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of those people back then.
No. Just,
but now it's a big deal.
Fox,
I will
Knight,
say,
Lackey, and Ledford.
I will say though, the ladies of Lake LA, the amount of press that they've been able to obtain, they've done a great job.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
They really are.
Yep.
They've done a really, really great job in bringing attention to this. And I would imagine, do you think with all the attention that maybe Judge Brown was listening yesterday at all?
I sure hope so. I sincerely hope so.
He
could. I'm sure has a smartphone. He could have put on iHeartRadio. And
I heard John and Ken yesterday blaming Governor Brown for this. It's not the Governor Brown's fault.
How was it?
We've got screwed up laws.
Yeah.
We've got screwed up laws.
He could override it if he wanted to. I think that was John and Ken's point.
I don't know. Could he? Could he? Does Judge Brown have to act and order something first? I don't think that Governor Brown can call Judge Brown and say, hey, this is what you got to do. I think it maybe has to go through a process.
Who are judges answerable to?
I don't. Who appointed this judge? I don't know.
I don't know.
That I don't know. But we'll find out later on today. I know there's going to be a soundbite and a statement from Assemblyman Steve Fox later on, and we'll have that for everybody tomorrow.
Yes.
And whatever information comes out from the Santa Clara court, we will post it on our website or we'll throw it up on Facebook, and we'll let everybody know as soon as we know what's going on. And we're in touch with a lot of people up there.
Right.
So, we'll keep you informed. Is it time to take a break yet?
It is, sir.
Do we need to?
It is, sir.
All right, let's take a break. Listen to some of these commercials because a lot of these people are running for office, and you should pay attention. You're listening to AV Newscast on News Talk Radio, the number one News Talk radio program in the Antelope Valley, and we'll be right back.
Frolic Beats.
Dr. Lee Rogers.
We need to end the bickering, the partisan politics, and the gridlock in Washington.
Lee Rogers is a doctor who solves real problems for a living. Lee Rogers will put Washington to work for middle-class families by closing tax loopholes for Wall Street banks, rebuild our infrastructure, and protect Medicare and Social Security. Lee Rogers, doing what's right for our families.
I'm Lee Rogers, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Lee Rogers for Congress.
Hi, I'm J.D. Kennedy, a Marine Corps veteran with 3 deployments to Iraq, and I'm running for state assembly. I served as Congressman McKeon's Veteran Affairs Representative, and I'm a member of Operation All the Way Home, board member of the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm the president of LA County Air Show. As your assemblyman, I'll fight to create jobs in our community and to keep criminals off our streets. Our problems can be fixed with simple, common sense answers, but we need new leadership in Sacramento. My name is J.D. Kennedy. I fought for you 3 times in Iraq. Vote for me on June 3rd. Send me to Sacramento. I'll fight for you there. Visit my website, kennedyforassembly.com, and follow me on Facebook.
Hello, I'm Tom Lackey, your experienced conservative candidate for the State Assembly in the Tuesday, June 3rd election. As a retired Highway Patrol Sergeant and Antelope Valley resident since 1996, I served as a school board and city council member for 14 years. As your assembly representative, I'll stand up for our shared values. The record shows I work to solve problems, not create them. With your help on June 3rd, we can break the far-left supermajority in Sacramento and stop the bleeding of our jobs. I'm Tom Lackey, your experienced candidate.
There's a school in Palmdale that's become the talk of the town. It's called the Guidance Charter School, and many parents say it's magical. The Guidance Charter School is WASP accredited, scored 783 in academic performance, and has an educational curriculum that exceeds the state of California standards. The curriculum is enriched through age-appropriate exposure to information technology, arts, foreign language such as Arabic, and physical education. The Guidance Charter School has a winning CIF sports program with soccer, basketball, cross-country, volleyball, swimming, cheerleading, and more. An open enrollment, free tuition school, publicly funded. They've been in business for 12 years and are fully approved by the Palmdale School District. The Guidance Charter School has small classroom environment, 20 students in grades K through 3, 25 students in grades 4 through 8, and no more than 30 students in grades 9 through 12. Call the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale at 661-285-1600. That's the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale at 661-285-1600. And check out their website at thegcs.org. A better high school choice.
Antelope Valley residents, this is Assistant Sheriff James Helmold seeking your vote for sheriff. As a 25-year veteran of the department, I'm not a politician. I'm a crime fighter committed to keeping our neighborhoods safe. I will ensure your sheriff's department is responsive to the Antelope Valley, not a one-size-fits-all approach from downtown Los Angeles. Let's also expand community involvement and youth outreach to ensure future success. I'm proud to be endorsed by both mayors and councils, local churches, and community groups. This is your sheriff's department. Please vote James Helmold for sheriff.
This is Palmdale Mayor Jim Ledford, and we have a great opportunity on June 3rd. We will be electing a new congressman for our valley. I served on the Palmdale City Council with Steve Knight, as well as serving with his father, Pete Knight, and I appreciate their service and belief in our community. Steve is a veteran of the U.S. Army, as well as an 18-year veteran of the LAPD, and I have the highest respect for our vet and law enforcement community. Steve has led by action over his tenure in Sacramento, and no one has authored more legislation for our veterans. As a son of a career Marine, I'm thankful for Steve's commitment to our veterans. Please join Mayor Pro Tem Tom Lackey and I in supporting Steve Knight for Congress.
Frolic Beats.
Back to AVNewsCast.com.
You know, that story that happened last night that everybody was talking about, around dinner time last night, a mother who lives in an unincorporated area of Torrance had 3 children, and I say had because she stabbed them all to death, ranging in age from 2 months to 3 years old. Police got a phone call. They responded to the residence to find the mother covered in blood, holding a knife, and she killed all 3 children. And then she was in the process of trying to kill herself.
Why don't they ever just kill themselves first?
Yeah, you wish, right?
You know?
I saw a picture of this woman this morning, and the picture that I saw, what would possess a person to do this, and how do you do such an awful, disgusting thing?
Yeah. I don't know. It's beyond me.
I don't get it. In this unincorporated area of Torrance, in the last 8 years, there have been like 20 murders within a mile of this area.
There's something in the water?
But something. Her name is Carol Coronado. And she'd killed all 3 of her kids yesterday. Her husband was home.
He was. What was he doing?
He was working on his car outside.
Mm-hmm.
He had no idea what was going on.
Mm.
Okay? She's been taken to the hospital. They're testing her for drugs. They're going to evaluate her for mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
They have no reason, no explanation.
Well, didn't she call her mother and say she was going crazy prior to...
Oh, was she hearing voices?
I didn't get any more than that. She said she was going crazy. I don't know if she was just stressed out with the kids or at her wit's end or meds ran out or what.
Well, stressed out. We talked last week about another woman out of Florida that killed her 13-year-old son and her 16-year-old daughter.
Right.
Because they would occasionally mouth off to her. These people are nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. And this is, that's exactly what the death penalty is for.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Exactly, if you ask me. Exactly what it's for.
According to Angie, there wasn't enough proof. She was standing there covered in blood holding the knife.
I know. And Angeline is not with us today. She's not feeling well. And if you are listening to the show, Ange, we love you. We miss you.
Yeah.
And feel better. Did you see the story yesterday about a Texas police officer? The other night, he's giving a ticket to somebody, and he's on the passenger side of a car, and they're stopped on a bridge, kind of like a freeway overpass, right? They're stopped on a bridge, and while he's giving a ticket, another car, with a driver who is an elementary school teacher, who is drunk, takes her car and drives straight at them. And this deputy, in order to escape, he had to jump off the bridge.
Oh.
He had to jump off the bridge in order to escape. And you see him do it. His dash cam got all everything. You see him do it. I mean, he jumps off a 30-foot bridge. Yeah.
So what's his condition?
He's gonna be okay. He's in surgery. I mean, that's a long drop.
So this drunk guy, he just hates cops, or it was an intentional...
it was an elementary school teacher. She was driving under the influence.
Oh, she.
Okay. She wants very much to apologize to the officer and the family. She feels terrible for what happened. She was drunk.
Why do we have bars?
Why do we?
Yeah.
I've never in my life been a person that's, bars were never a big thing.
Why did we have them?
For me.
I mean, it's just an excuse to go. You have to get home somehow, and not everybody's going to take a cab. Why don't they just do your drinking at home?
What's going on? You know what? Since you said, why do we have... What is going on in the Antelope Valley with this Bureau of Automotive Repair setting up smog checks and vehicle checks in the middle of the day all over the Antelope Valley?
I'm not familiar with that.
There was one yesterday that was set up on Avenue L.
Is it like a drunk stop thing? But
No.
For smog? Or?
No, it's for vehicle.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is it you're driving along and all of a sudden you got to pull off and they stick something in your exhaust pipe?
All of a sudden, you run into a bunch of highway patrol officers. There's cones up. They've got a mobile smog check.
Holy cow.
They check the car. And you know what? It's interesting because...
Revenuers.
They're looking for... They're trying to catch the smog shops that are breaking the law.
So go to the smog shop.
And now here's the thing. It's my understanding, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. It's my understanding that pulling over into this thing is 100% voluntary.
Oh.
But people don't know that. Okay? So everybody feels, I got to get checked. They're checking to see if your check engine light's on. And boy, and they have a way to know how long your check engine light's on.
Oops.
And if you recently got a smog pass and your check engine light's on, guess what happens? Your car is impounded.
Oh.
And then they go after the shop that gave you the smog check.
Oh.
They impound your car right on the spot.
Wow. So
Yeah, it's
into
bad.
that.
It's bad. They had one on Friday. They had 47th Street East and Avenue R in Palmdale. Yesterday, L and near like 17th, 20th West, near the Ralph's Market over there.
Oh,
They had one there yesterday. It just pops up in early morning, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, on your way to work.
Yeah,
Who needs that?
and everybody thinks they got to pull in there.
Ah.
And there's usually 2 lanes.
Uh-huh.
Don't pull into the right lane. Okay, because you pull into the right lane, they're going to check it.
Wow.
Yeah, they're checking your vehicle.
That's unreal.
It is unreal. It really is, because you get your car. Well, here's the thing, and we talked about this. It's about revenue, but they're trying to catch the people that are breaking the law. They're going after the smog repair shops. Apparently, that's really prevalent up here. People knows somebody that, hey, take it to this guy. He can do whatever. And then they say to the vehicle owner, how'd you pass that smog check last month when your check engine light's been on for 3 years, you know?
What am I, a mechanic?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just took it in there and it passed.
Right. Well, we'll figure it out, and your car's going to be impounded until then. But those are popping up in the Antelope Valley. And if you're listening to the show, and it is voluntary, I certainly want to know about it.
Yeah.
We have a little chat room on the Spreaker radio network.
Yes, let me take a look over here.
If you can actually post something up in our chat room.
Please do.
Yeah. So that you can listen to AVNewsCast on the Spreaker radio network all over the globe.
Yes.
But there's also a chat room there, and you can post stuff. So, and then we can see that, and we can interact with you. So what about the Riverside County District Attorney, who is now facing criminal charges? He is running for election.
Huh.
All right?
And another one that's facing charges and running.
He's running for election. He's the incumbent, okay? Paul Zellerbach. He is accused of taking another candidate's signs and tearing them down. Tearing them down. Those are felonies.
Wow.
If he's found guilty, he would be unable to run or hold public office under California state law ever again.
Wow.
Ever again. Now, what's interesting is...
How about they have a felony for not picking up your signs after the election?
They have fines for that. And Chuck Simons is very good. You know what? You've got 30 days after the election to get your signs. And on day 31, there's a couple of people up here in the Antelope Valley. Chuck Simons is one of them. But he's going to let you know if your signs are still up. Okay? And I think that's great.
I do, too.
He was finding them months and months after.
Right. Oh, yeah.
The last election.
It's just a blight after that.
Yeah, but this the Riverside County DA, his name is Paul Zellerbach. One of his staffers, who apparently doesn't like him too much, okay, and really, really likes one of the other candidates that are running, shot a video of him. His own staffer turned him in to the DA.
Awesome.
You see that?
That's awesome.
That's the age we live in today.
Yeah.
You know, it really, really is. What in Costa Mesa, and this is really kind of funny. This is because it's an Abidac client.
Oh,
okay. This is funny.
Whoops.
No. It's a good thing for us. It's no problem. We're not in trouble. But in Costa Mesa, a city official who signed off on thousands of dollars, and I really should say hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay, in cost overruns. The city of Costa Mesa was celebrating their 60th anniversary. So this guy was the party planner. Worked for the city. He was in charge of throwing a party. Okay. To the tune of spending $518,000.
Holy cow.
To throw a couple-day party. And it was so out of control, so crazy, that instead of hiring one musical act, they hired 30.
Wow.
30 music. They had some beautiful tents. Okay?
Oh, I bet they did.
I'll tell you that for sure.
You wanted to do Woodstock all over again.
Cost overruns were $117,000. 107, and this guy has been out of a job technically. He's been out of a job for about 6 months. But he's still on paid leave.
Oh, of course.
All these people get paid leave.
Of course.
But it went so out of control that nobody knew what was going on. So everybody thought the other person hadn't done something. So they just hired multiple musical acts. Went way over budget. They hired one group to play for 75 minutes. They paid them $25,000.
Oh. I'm in the wrong line of work.
$25,000. Yeah, that's
Justin Bieber? Or who?
No, it reminds me of last year's Taste of Palmdale. That was just a joke. Okay, for some of you might get that, some of you might not. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're not watching the candy store.
Wow.
This year, I get to be in charge of the Taste of Palmdale event. It's a deal too. Let me tell you, especially when you volunteer your time.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I think you work 10 times harder.
Oh yeah.
When you volunteer.
I wonder how thin you can actually spread yourself before a hole appears.
We're gonna find out because I'm getting pretty thin. I'll tell you.
Transparent in spots.
We're gonna find out. I did mention earlier at the beginning of the show there is a candidate forum. This is obviously going to be the last one.
Yeah.
Before the June 3rd primary.
Got to get out there and get your questions answered.
I don't know how to get people to get out and vote. I talk to people. I was talking to people yesterday at work yesterday, okay, away from the news show.
Right.
Are you going to vote? No. Why not? I never do. They don't care what I have to say. That's what people say. They don't care. You know what? They do care.
They do.
And your voice carries right now because it's not a presidential election. Every single vote makes a huge, huge difference.
It sure does.
Somebody said yesterday, I like to fly under the radar. I don't like people to know. So my follow-up was, when was the last time you filed taxes?
Ooh.
Oh, I haven't done that in, 10 years. So they think they're going under the radar by not registering to vote. They think that's going to help them. I don't know. Everybody needs to get out. You know, there are a lot of things that people are upset about, and it can be from the economy, it can be jobs, it can be Social Security. There are so many different things. It can be gun control. The only way your voice is going to be heard is if you vote.
Right.
If you like who's in office, vote them back in. If you don't, vote for somebody else.
Right.
Learn about the issues. Learn about what's important to your quality of life and get out there and try to make a difference.
I used to try to encourage people to vote. I don't anymore.
What, you gave up?
No, I figure the fewer people that vote, the more power my vote has. So.
Yeah, you know what? But that's not necessarily true. People need to get out and vote. I think the voter turnout this year is going to be very low.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very low. I was looking at the campaign finances. And, you know, when you're running for, let's say city council, okay? You only need a little tiny bit of money, okay? When you're running for mayor, you need more.
Right.
When you're running for state assembly, you need more. State senator, even more. When you're running for Congress, it is. I look at Lee Rogers.
Right.
$600 and some $1,000. It's huge.
Wow.
Big dollars. Big dollars. He is raised. I believe he's raised more than anybody at this point right now. I think he's raised more money than anybody. He'll be at the candidate forum today. But I mean, a huge amount of money. And that's what it takes to try to connect with voters. Just to get them to get off the couch and vote.
And then they wonder why everybody's beholden to special interests and everything. Well, because it costs a fortune. There's no way to get up there without somebody writes you a check, you owe them then.
It's interesting you say that. Okay, interesting you say that only because one candidate that I know of, Steve Knight, he's not taking special interest dollars.
Good.
Doesn't.
It's all just from people?
It's from, he's not, you're not getting the Standard Oil and Shell Oil. And in fact, when it's when you're running for Congress, corporations can't write checks. Has to be individuals. The corporation can donate to some PAC.
Right.
But you can't write a corporate check.
Huh.
They can't do that.
What about unions?
Well, that's unions. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure, and the rules differ, from state to when you go national.
Right.
Going for Washington, but you should get involved. People have mail-in ballots. They can't even fill out those friggin' things. They can't.
You see, that's
they don't. Now
I hate
Monday
to sound elitist, but once again, a lot of the people that can vote, do you really want them to? That's another reason why I don't encourage people anymore.
I want everybody to vote. Monday was the last day. Okay? 2 days ago, the last day to register to vote.
Wow.
So if you didn't do it by Monday, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're just a fireman on a train, and you're not doing anything to help anything. Which is really, really too bad. With the L.A. County Sheriff's race, everybody needs to get out and vote.
Absolutely.
You have to get out and vote. And your vote means a lot. Because you don't want somebody like Paul Tanaka.
No. Embroiled in controversy.
I don't want him making it through the primary.
Right.
I don't. And if the Antelope Valley is smart, they'll get behind James Helmold.
Speaking of money well spent.
Yeah, what?
Shall we listen to him?
James
See what they have
Helmold?
to say? Yep.
Yeah, let's listen to what he has to say. And the other candidates, too.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. You're listening to AVNewsCast on the Spreaker Radio Network, the #1 news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley, and we'll be right back.
From the concert hall, now into the song and dance.
Dr. Lee Rogers.
We need to end the bickering, the partisan politics, and the gridlock in Washington.
Lee Rogers is a doctor who solves real problems for a living. Lee Rogers will put Washington to work for middle-class families by closing tax loopholes for Wall Street banks, rebuild our infrastructure, and protect Medicare and Social Security. Lee Rogers, doing what's right for our families.
I'm Lee Rogers, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Lee Rogers for Congress.
Hi, I'm J.D. Kennedy, a Marine Corps veteran with 3 deployments to Iraq, and I'm running for state assembly. I served as Congressman McKeon's Veteran Affairs Representative, and I'm a member of Operation All the Way Home, board member of the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm the president of L.A. County Air Show. As your assemblyman, I'll fight to create jobs in our community and keep criminals off our streets. Our problems can be fixed with simple, common-sense answers, but we need new leadership in Sacramento. My name is J.D. Kennedy. I fought for you 3 times in Iraq. Vote for me on June 3rd. Send me to Sacramento. I'll fight for you there. Visit my website, kennedyforassembly.com, and follow me on Facebook.
Hello, I'm Tom Lackey, your experienced conservative candidate for the State Assembly in the Tuesday, June 3rd election. As a retired Highway Patrol Sergeant and Antelope Valley resident since 1996, I served as a school board and city council member for 14 years. As your Assembly representative, I'll stand up for our shared values. The record shows I work to solve problems, not create them. With your help on June 3rd, we can break the far-left supermajority in Sacramento and stop the bleeding of our jobs. I'm Tom Lackey, your experienced candidate.
There's a school in Palmdale that's become the talk of the town. It's called the Guidance Charter School, and many parents say it's magical. The Guidance Charter School is WASP accredited, scored 783 in academic performance, and has an educational curriculum that exceeds the state of California standards. The curriculum is enriched through age-appropriate exposure to information technology, arts, foreign language such as Arabic, and physical education. The Guidance Charter School has a winning CIF sports program with soccer, basketball, cross-country, volleyball, swimming, cheerleading, and more. An open enrollment, free tuition school, publicly funded. They've been in business business for 12 years and are fully approved by the Palmdale School District. The Guidance Charter School has small classroom environment, 20 students in grades K through 3, 25 students in grades 4 through 8, and no more than 30 students in grades 9 through 12. Call the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale at 661-285-1600. That's the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale at 661-285-1600. And check out their website at thegcs.org. A better high school choice.
Antelope Valley residents, this is Assistant Sheriff James Helmold seeking your vote for sheriff. As a 25-year veteran of the department, I'm not a politician. I'm a crime fighter committed to keeping our neighborhood safe. I will ensure your sheriff's department is responsive to the Antelope Valley, not a one-size-fits-all approach from downtown Los Angeles. Let's also expand community involvement and youth outreach to ensure future success. I'm proud to be endorsed by both mayors and councils, local churches, and community groups. This is your sheriff's department. Please vote James Helmold for sheriff.
Hello, neighbors. This is Mayor Jim Ledford, and I'd like to tell you about Steve Knight. Steve has been our councilman and our legislator for the past 9 years. Steve has been a staunch supporter of lower taxes and creating a better environment for job growth. That is why Steve is endorsed by the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. Please stand with me and Supervisor Mike Antonovich in supporting Steve Knight as our next congressman.
From the concert hall, now into the song and dance.
Welcome back to AVNewsCast.com.
A story that doesn't go away.
Uh-oh.
Donald Sterling.
Oh, that guy. When will he shut his mouth?
It doesn't go away.
Just close your mouth, go roll around in your money.
Now there's new allegations that came out. I understand that V. Stiviano, by the way, was on Dr. Phil yesterday.
Oh, dear.
And he was
she
able
needs to be on some doctor's couch.
He was able to get her to come on the show and take off her welder's visor. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Which, you know what?
That's a public service, by the way.
After you've looked at her for a couple of minutes without the visor, you really learn to appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
You want the visor back.
Oh, she's a mess.
She is a mess. Now, there's new allegations that after the recordings came out, that Donald Sterling went to her, asked her, one, to edit the recordings before they were given to the NBA, and also to say that she lied and it wasn't really Donald Sterling. Even though you can hear his voice.
Everybody knows his voice. What?
I understand. I know that. Now, the NBA just served them with a 30-page formal allegation list from the league. And this is what they're going to use to try to terminate his ownership.
Right. And his wife's as well.
And this is interesting because their constitution, okay, their bylaws are completely, it has nothing to do with law. This is an association. The laws within the association govern everything that goes on.
Right.
And it's got nothing to do with case law. How do you deal with this?
Well, you sign your name on there. It's like a homeowners association. You sign
It
your
is.
name on there, and nobody ever wins against the homeowners association.
That's true. You never do.
Mm-mm.
They're not going to win here either. And apparently, even though Donald Sterling is, let's say, senior, okay, in ownership, any junior owners, when they terminate his ownership, everybody's gone.
Wow.
So, which means, his wife is going to be gone too. Everybody is going to be gone. Now, he said on CNN, Sterling said on CNN that he's willing to abide by what the NBA says. Yet, he just went out and hired a real powerhouse law firm that has been successful in taking on the NBA and the NFL before.
Oh, really?
Okay, and they don't lose.
Oh,
and the law firm is doing something completely different. They're not going to abide by anything. Absolutely nothing. Now they only have, I think they have maybe 2 months to make a decision. They're going out to all the owners. They need, 70% of the owners
Right.
to say, yes, get rid of him, and then he's gone.
Why is he? What's the big deal? Why is he fighting this? Just because I'm me and you're not going to tell me what to do? Is that what it all boils down to? Or?
Perhaps, and he would be smart if he would just fade into the woodwork,
Absolutely.
and be done.
Yep, be a footnote and just go and enjoy your money.
Let him go buy something else.
Yeah.
Buy the Jethawks.
Hey.
Let him, and you know what? I wouldn't doubt that he'll take his money and try to say, hey, well, look, I'll go over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do something else.
Right.
I'm going to buy another team.
Does he
I'm
love
gonna do
anything
something.
as much as basketball, though? Does he have
I don't
a passion
know.
for any other sports?
I don't know. But this just doesn't. And she's on Dr. I mean, she's making money from this now.
Oh, sure she is.
She reported a burglary. LAP had to respond to her house on Monday. Apparently, somebody tried to break in. There was glass by the entryway. I don't even believe half this stuff. I really don't.
I wish a plastic surgeon would break in.
I think she's already been to one.
Well, somebody
many
could
times.
correct it.
That can't be natural, right?
No.
Who paid for that? Donald Sterling?
Of course he did.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's a story that just won't go away. Interesting story in Santa Monica over the weekend. Just on one street near Ocean Park, 82 tires were slashed.
Wow.
Over a 2-day period.
Huh.
Everybody went out to their cars, and not one tire, but all 4 of their tires were all slashed.
Wow.
Up and down the street.
We had out in my father's backyard, he's got a water system set up, and the faucets come up through a stack of tires, old tires, and then it's filled with sand and everything. And I've tried just to see how hard it is to slash a tire. I've stuck a knife in those things. It takes a lot of effort.
It does, really?
Yeah, it does. They don't cut like butter. So to do all that many tires, that's...
I know somebody that had to be in divorce court or child court, and this person went out to their car to get in their car to go to court that day.
Right.
And all their tires were slashed by the other parent. Okay. To make certain that they couldn't go to court.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, kind of dirty trick, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty bad.
Speaking of dirty tricks, one last little thing. Did you hear about the girl who her parents were paying for her to go to college?
Yeah, and she called it a bomb threat?
Yeah, because she spent the money. She frittered it away and didn't take any classes, and then panicked when the 4 years come up. Called in 2 bomb threats, and then
they moved the location.
They moved it, and there she was in her cap and gown, and they walked her off, did the perp walk in front of the parents.
Yeah, she didn't want mom and dad to know that she had spent all the money.
How did she think she could hide that?
She thought she was going to create a commotion.
And
but
I mean, eventually they're going to want to see the sheepskin, right?
Well, you would think. Well, you can come on Photoshop.
Oh, yeah.
She'll make whatever.
Yeah.
So there she is on stage, and she's not supposed to be there because she's not graduating.
Right.
And the cops come up and they handcuff her on stage.
God, those parents
in
must be
cap and
proud.
gown. Yeah, can you imagine? Wouldn't it have been easier to just say, hey, Mom and Dad, I spent your $80,000? It's been done before.
Yeah.
Okay? I know people that have done that. It's been done before, so that's what she should have done. Yeah, that was a crazy, funny story, though. Yeah, can you just imagine? Oh, gosh, that was something that would happen to me. I know we're about out of time.
Yes, we are.
I do want to mention today at the Rancho Vista Golf Course, the Palmdale Chamber is sponsoring the last candidate forum before the June 3rd primary. Some candidates running for United States Congress as well as running for State Assembly will be there. Not all will be there. But if you want to go, you should go and make yourself heard.
Good eating and get your voice out there.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you for making us the #1 news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley. We'll be back tomorrow and have a really great day.